The event is the Mercy College 2020 initiative, and this is an initiative that's been started by President Hayward and his team, and Janelle Lang, who is they're working to set up a platform for institutional effectiveness for the university, or for the college. And so one of the very first things that they said is they want to get everybody involved in designing the future of Mercy College for 2020 and focusing on establishing a platform for institutional effectiveness. And so everybody's coming in today, some people skeptical, some people excited, some people wondering what's going on, but they're all coming in today for a college assembly, and the expectation is that they all of a sudden realize, wow, this is a different kind of experience than the one they are used to experiencing with regard to strategic planning. So.
I'm hoping we build some excitement for strategic planning and people have a better sense of what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
The biggest expectation I have is to get people excited about strategic planning and help them to understand that this is going to be a 2-year-long process, not a single-day process, and today is the inaugural event.
The activities experienced today will engage all constituencies in the college to actively embrace the strategic planning process and become part of it.
And as we have approached the project with Dr. Steve Cady, I'll introduce Dr. Cady in just a minute, it became clear that we needed to take more time. And so the discussion we'll have today will focus on what's going to happen not only this year, but next year, and how at the end of 2 years, we hope to have a strategic plan which will carry Mercy College forward to the year 2020. I think we have very good material, starting with Dr. Gaston's report, following up with the Higher Learning Commission report, and the reports of all of the program accreditations which have taken place in the last year or two, to take Mercy College to the next level. It's an opportunity that doesn't come every year. And so I think it's very important to have all of you participating. I hope that many of you will be able to serve on the Strategic Planning Committee, about which we'll hear from Dr. Cady a little bit later. But I want to emphasize how excited I am and how excited I think many of you, I hope all of you, will be by the end of the time we spend with Steve this morning.
In front of you is a blue handout. That's the agenda. And the purpose for today's session is to assist in designing a collaborative process that will meet the intention of the 2020 initiative and energize ourselves as we launch the first steps. And the agenda begins with the opening prayer that we had, and now we're talking about what is the 2020 initiative. And we're going to talk just a little bit more about this sheet here, connecting it to the initiative. And then we're going to go into, at your tables, called Telling Our Stories. And that's an opportunity for you to discuss what you believe, what you see, and to connect your conversations at your tables. From there, we'll talk about how this process is collaborative and what the principles of collaboration are in higher education, and how that will be a part and a core element or a set of principles for the process over the next 2 years. Well, then, at the tables, you will discuss what are the purpose and outcomes of this initiative. How many people have held your own meeting or have gone to a meeting that was all agenda, no purpose? Where you go and you sit down and say, we're doing this, why? We're talking about this, how come? And so what's really important before you get people together into a room, it's really important to be clear about purpose and outcomes, just like a class lecture or a session teach. What are your learning outcomes? And then you have your learning activities, right? And so it's really important that we get clear about this collaborative process and how we're going to come together by a clear set of purpose and outcomes. You're going to be a part of helping to design and enrich the draft purpose and outcomes that you'll see. And then that will flow into the strategic planning committee as we talk about the next item on here is who needs to be involved? Who needs to be on the committee? Who else needs to be involved, and how do we get them involved in the process?
What do we need to accomplish to make this worthwhile use of my time? I think we need to get organized and get a plan of action.
Why do I choose to stay? Well, I'm working here. I like the people I'm working with. I like all the teachers.
Institutional effectiveness to me means the ability to churn out educated, job-ready students in the most loving, holistic, cost-effective, successful way possible.
Ooh, I like that.
Excellent. Yeah. And what would make it a worthwhile use of my time is just if we have a plan, anything that I can do to organize it, to put it together, to put the finishing touches on it, to coordinate, collaborate, then that makes it worth my time. Because as long as they're happy.
You'll notice is we're doing what's called individual group poll. And these are all different little techniques. And again, I teach a class of 200 students like this. And how do you create conversation where everybody feels connected in your classroom when it gets larger? Well, one of the things is you'll notice that everybody at your table got questions and everybody answered the question at your table. Did you notice that?
Yes.
And then you notice how you as a group then had a common and unique theming conversation about what was common and unique to the group. And so you had a group discussion. And now we're moving to a whole room conversation in which we're going to popcorn out what happened around, and we're going to do this for just about 5 minutes. But what you're going to notice is that we had an individual group conversation. And if we tried to do this with everybody in a big circle, where would we be right now? Right. So the reason for this design is to help us have a great whole system conversation and to build that collaborative culture. And these techniques you can use in your classrooms as well, in your departments and other kinds of places.
One of our common things was out of strategic planning, we need concrete goals.
From the ground up. So
No follow through or feedback. And I have to throw this out there. A commonality to our goals, none of us like strategic planning. But we all recognize its importance and its value. We're all about it.
we all feel that.
You really don't need that, do you?
Everyone here has unique backgrounds in terms of education, in terms of not only their education and where they come from, but also their perceptions of how they educate the students.
As an institution, the fact that all of us are together in one room to work on strategic planning, we thought was unique probably for a system.
It occurred to me in the process of the discussion that just being male is often a unique experience.
In the power of bringing a community together when you ask the question, what do you think it will take to create conditions that will assure that all kids thrive? We believed in the power of the diversity of thought coming together to sort through the common good.
The idea of having the whole community come together and talk about something that matters to everybody was just fascinating to me.
I saw it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have some real development in a communication.
Of course, we all know that the only way that you can truly believe and live the goals is if you are a part of the creation and understanding of the goals.
And that's the best part about it. It wasn't walking in with, here's our plan and we're presenting it. It was walking in with, what do we need to do? Tell us.
I think already for the next steps in the 2020 initiative, it's a rough time schedule of the process. And you'll note that on the lower left-hand side is the launch in the fall of 2010, proceeding to spring of 2011, where we form and train the Strategic Planning Committee. The summer of 2011, where we develop templates, draft strategic plan version 1.0, and design whole college events. And in the fall of 2011, whole Mercy College strategic planning events again. And then approval of the Mercy College strategic plan version 2.0, and the development of areas, departments, and programs, strategic plans, so that it all fits together. I'm firmly convinced that we can develop a shared vision and implement it. And I'm as excited as I've ever been about the process we're about to embark on. So I realize that when I say I'm as excited as I've ever been, I say that in a monotone. It's hard to tell when I'm really excited, but I'm really excited.